So we're gonna go check out the Dragon Metro Cab Company now?
What time is it?
Oh, it's, quite a lot of time passed by. It's almost midnight. Just a few minutes shy.
So we can either go hit her up and see if we can get a meeting with her, or we can... Well, I mean, I guess there's no reason not to do that tonight, unless we want to put it off.
Well, we might as well call. I mean, there's no guarantee that she will see us tonight, but we can definitely speak to one of her underlings or whatever and get an appointment or whatever she does. Because she wasn't here, so she might be doing something else.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if she wasn't here just because she wasn't here, or if she wasn't here for a reason.
Maybe she wasn't there because I didn't put her token there.
Don't.
Yes, that is other option. It's possible that the storyteller just didn't put her there. Everyone else stares at the Malkavian.
I was actually kind of hoping that maybe she was a token none of us recognized, and maybe talking to Valentine would have him point her out. But no go. Shucks.
Drive, man. Drive, man. Drive.
Yeah, where are we driving to? Because Byron's going to call. Well, he's...
The number that you were given is for Valentine. He didn't give you a number pertaining to Helen.
Right. I would call, like, say, information and see if I can get the number on that apartment building. What was it, Angelic Suites or Heaven, whatever it was.
Angel Suites. It's on the object token. Yeah, you can certainly call.
All right.
Information in which you are given a number for there.
All right. I will call the number and see if anyone answers at midnight on Monday, Tuesday, whichever one.
Angel Suites, where all of your fantasies will come true. How may I assist, dear sir, madam?
Yes, I and a few associates are interested in some apartment space. Would there be any chance of getting in touch with Elaine Panhard personally?
Sir, if you are looking to perhaps lease a room, you would be speaking with me, or perhaps, staying for a spell. I am quite competent and capable of handling that, dear sir.
I am sure, but there's also a few items of a more personal nature that I would like to bring up, if it's at all possible.
Oh, very well. Give me a moment. You are put on hold.
For some reason, Byron just starts doing the sitting shuffle dance in his seat. Nobody knows why.
Everyone, Byron is doing the sitting shuffle dance. Yeah.
You gotta pee bad. Sorry, couldn't resist.
What?
Of course, Aaron, you feel free to move Jermaine's car or whatever you like, and I presume Joseph's in his car while the Ghoul's driving. You can certainly reach Angel Suites. Byron's still on hold. I didn't say to fucking start a disco rave with the goddamn cars.
Well, then you should have been more clear.
Rain was just under orders, follow him!
Whoa.
Dear sir, how important is this?
Well, I mean, it's not horribly urgent, but I would like to see if I get an appointment at least within a few days, if it's at all possible.
I suppose the miss will speak with you. Verily, if you will come to the suites, things can be arranged.
Very well. We will be there imminently.
Oh, how many of you are there?
Just a moment. Let me see. And he'll cover the phone with his hand. So everybody want to visit with Helen, or just some of you?
I'm not in the car.
Oh, right. Joseph is. He yells across the highway. And okay, he'll ask both of the people in the car if either of them are coming.
I think it's hardly appropriate for me unless you want me to accompany you.
I don't need to be there. I'll stand out.
All right. Well, he'll sound the phone. Well, it looks like there'll probably be just me. There might be one other, but he's undecided at this moment. Speaking of Joseph, because he has no idea.
Very well, dear sir. We will be expecting your arrival. Click.
Okay. I guess Byron will ask Jermaine to go to Angel Suites.
I'd drive his ass to Angel Suites.
You're at Angel Suites.
Is Joseph there as well? I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Byron will, since it's an apartment building, he will blush up just so he doesn't forget later, and he will talk to Joseph and see if he would like to come with or stay.
Looking up at it's a high-rise, right?
Oh, yes. Rather illustrious and ornately decorated and absolutely beautiful.
Looking up at the high-rise. Unless we're meeting her on the ground floor, I'll probably stay right around here.
Byron will nod and head in. I'm assuming there's like a front desk or something, and he will
There
mention
is
that
actually someone standing by the door, a rather older gentleman with dark skin who sort of looks at you. He is rather finely dressed and apparently acts as some sort of valet or helps with the luggage or whatever. He opens the door with you, casting his eyes a bit, perhaps disapprovingly, and on the inside, indeed, it is very ornately decorated with gold inlaid trim and a wonderful chandelier and lots of pretty portraits and paintings and a few statues and a burbling fountain, and Byron quietly resolves to himself never to let Marcus inside this room. There is a rather exasperated gentleman manning the desk who is staring at Byron with like a perpetual scowl on his face, as if you people just make his life so goddamn difficult, but you're not exactly sure what you people refers to. It's all in your head. All in his head, too, and actually sitting on a bench off to the side by the elevators is a woman who, a woman sitting on an ornately decorated bench appears to have been embraced in her early 40s, and before plastic surgery became widely available. And it's possible if she had her way tonight, she'd be much more beautiful. Her looks are best described as plain, or even a bit homely. She carries herself as she stands, and her just more than like svelte looking weight. Yes, if she perhaps, she could perhaps stand to lose a few pounds. She has like this matronly manner about her, and certainly has been whispered. Her name ends up being rather rudely Queen Heavy. and it is Helen Panhard, who sort of looks at you, about the same sort of curious, perhaps bemused glance that Byron ends up getting. After all, she is a harpy, and if anyone knows about the silly foolishness that Byron has been saying, it would be a harpy.
Yes, yes. Not gonna lie, out of character, I was hoping for some backup in here.
I'm not good backup.
And Marcus would have just stared at the wall, and Joseph can't ride an elevator. So yeah, yeah. Byron will approach Ellen Panhard, bow slightly, and extend a hand and say, I've been meaning for some time to make your acquaintance, if it doesn't displease you or put you out at all tonight.
She doesn't extend one of her hands. She looks at your hand curiously, then back to you, and says, what do you want?
Well, just as I said, I've been meaning to make the acquaintance of a child of the previous prince, and also I wanted to...
That would have been Calibros. I do not believe I'm a Nosferatu the last time I checked.
Michaela. I meant Michaela. No disrespect.
The thin brows narrow. They sort of hunch down, and the eyes narrow perceptibly. Yes, so, you... Brow scrunches. Byron, yes, you have been known to say a few things from time to time, and Valentine told me you might be the interesting sort to speak with. I can't imagine why. Now, what is it you actually want?
Very well. And as for what Valentine thinks of me, your guess is as good as mine. I did have questions about perhaps a building of interest that is very close to your domain, and wish to first ask you about it before sticking our noses perhaps in a place that it doesn't belong.
Go on.
My coterie and I have, on several occasions, noticed an Ouroboros in places we would not suspect there to be one, say a beach in a mist. One of the biggest places for an Ouroboros is the Metro Cab Company, and we were thinking of researching this a little bit to see if perhaps there might be a Tzimisce influence there.
She gives you a neutral enough looking nod. I see, and
Does she expect him to say more?
well, she did say and she trailed off.
All right, just making sure she wasn't deep in thought. I can't see her face. And say, the sheriff, newly returned sheriff, and Theo Bell has made it apparent that we should remain vigilant against the Sabbat. And we are trying to take the initiative and do as each of them wish us.
So you believe these Ouroboros you've been spotting on the beach and in the mist are signs of a Sabbat incursion? She doesn't look like she's entirely... She looks a little skeptical.
Well, we don't know. However, we have seen, like I said, we have seen the symbol floating in mist in a fog, which seemed a little odd. And we saw it on a sign, and well, he's not going to say it. We saw it near a building with a And Byron is going to sigh and just to give the impression that he knows she's not going to buy this, but he's going to say it anyway. From a building where shortly thereafter a laser shot out the front and knocked a van off its wheels.
You hear a quite a rude scoff followed by a guffaw and a rather sort of hoity-toity laughter coming from behind the desk. As the gentleman who's apparently manning the phones could not quite contain himself, and he's apparently quite good at hearing, and yeah, he finds this amusing.
I just think it's funny that Byron thinks that she should care about this.
Well, he's trying to see if she knows anything about it. I mean, that's all, and she doesn't seem to. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
She definitely arches a brow at the whole explanation of a beam of light shooting out from a place and striking down a van, smiting it with great power, but she's still looking at you expectantly, like where this comes in for her.
Right. Well, I mean, my main question was if you knew anything about this business and if it would be okay with you if we poked around, since it is very close to your domain. We did not want to step on any toes. If you have no...
I don't claim it.
Byron will nod and bow a little bit and said, well, sorry to have wasted your time.
As for information, as far as I know, she quirks her head. I've had occasion to use the cab from time to time during my stay here, and I do believe the slogan is, quick and efficient, we'll make sure you get home safe. That's 1212-555-DRGN. If you are looking for a cab, Byron.
Yes. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. And then Byron will politely excuse himself and walk back out to the car.
You too, Byron. The man behind the counter, to his credit, has regained his composure and is now back to looking at you with a scowl as you leave. And you exit to find the others waiting in their vehicles.
Well, Byron will let them, will say, well, she doesn't really care what we do, and she didn't seem to have any information on the business other than what we already know.
Well, if she doesn't care, we can poke around as much as we want.
That was the indication I got.
So are we doing that right now?
Byron will shrug. He was hoping for a better visit, but he was scolded in a way for even coming to see her. So he's a little annoyed that he couldn't make better of the situation.
Could have been worse.
Could have been raining.
Could have been raining bees.
What do you know? It started raining. Slow and cold.
Guys, it's supposed to be the Malk's job to do things like that. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, it's a pretty goddamn quick drive to the cab company executive office, and we get a new map.
And what now?
We get a new map.
Oh, get a new map. I just didn't get
Oh
it.
god, it's gonna get bombed.
I think that's a good thing in this case. Maybe?
Now, this building, of course, is a prime crop of real estate here in Manhattan, so there's not going to be any sort of convenient parking, even though it's about close to 1 damn a.m. Of course, you can certainly manage to find parallel parking, and eventually you'll end up finding some empty holes of shit. Yeah, also, he seems to have separated from the sidewalk itself a little bit with some sort of cool cobblestone pathway that leads around the exterior of the building. There are 4 little groves of trees on each of the 4 corners by the cobblestone pathway, and some rather large and expansive windows lining the front of the building. You all will end up seeing some signs of where should be located, yo. Your characters have been deposited on the map, but you are free to arrange them however you see fit. The security desk is manned by what appears to be 1 security guard, human, pale, pasty, in his mid-40s, overweight. Rent-a-cop. But it is close to 1 a.m., so it is highly likely that, it's closed. You're sort of arriving. What are you hoping to achieve? There's also a spiffy cool Roboros, in which the security desk is ensconced. It's painted onto the floor.
Oh, that's nifty.
That's fancy. So guys, what are we thinking about doing here?
Byron doesn't know. This is y'all's idea.
This wasn't my idea. Whose idea was this?
I think it was my idea, and I think we're going to have to do some snooping. Does anyone have a problem with snooping?
You sure you don't want to hire a detective?
I'm not asking you to detect, I'm asking you to snoop.
Uh-huh.
So what is there? So what is like? What do you guys want to do? I mean, we could send Byron in. Byron can entrance the guy inside, and then we all get inside, and
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Byron might go in there, try to throw an awe on him, and try to look. It's frickin' 1 a.m. That's the problem. But he can try to ask for a records room or something like that.
I mean, he seems like an overweight sort, and he seems like he doesn't have that much willpower because of how Grimith explained him. But
The rent-a-cop with 10 willpower.
Turns out he's a willpower 10 iron will behemoth of a man.
He's like he's heard it all in all of his years as a rent-a-cop. Yes, sure, you lost your key card. Yeah, you want to get to the records room. Yeah, there's an important deadline. Listen, you have to follow procedure just like everyone else.
He is literally has the hardest to touch mind, the most stubborn personality.
It's like protected by folds of fat. He gives no fucks.
You like try to dominate into there, it just sort of mentally echoes.
So is that actually what he says, or was that just an example?
You're not even in there. You can't even see him right now.
That's why I double-checked. I was curious. I just didn't know. I wanted to make sure.
go, Byron, go.
All right, well, that's what I'll do. I will blush up if it didn't keep from the...
it didn't keep, no.
All right, well, I'll definitely blush up, and I will try to awe him, so that's 2 blood points right there.
Hey, you follow the goddamn pathway. You do not teleport through the trees and through the glass. There are signs that tell you where front doors are. Okay. As you end up coming to the doors,
goddamn grass.
The first security guard definitely notices you as you're approaching the building. As you can see, apparently a second guy was completing his patrol around as well, and is heading back down the hallway.
How did we not know there'd be two people?
The door, when you tried, is locked, as they are wont to be at about 1 a.m. in the morning. The security guard who's behind the desk gets up, looks at you annoyed, as if you're making his life harder. Sort of roly-poly as he kind of rumbles across the Ouroboros towards you.
I'm just going to say, describing him as roly-poly just made him seem adorable in my eyes.
Opens the door. Step inside, please.
Please tell me you took your gun off.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, it's a no. I totally forgot about it.
Guard looks at you questioningly. Decides, why is it you little shits always deign to make my life miserable? He holds out a tray. Deposit all of your metal items inside, please. Step back outside the door. Do it again. The jowls of fat around his face sort of quiver. He squints at you with pig-like eyes, annoyed at this.
Oh, very well. Just a moment. I have some sensitive items anyway that I don't want in the tray. I will return in a minute. And I am going to give my gun to Jermaine and go back.
Okay. The door's locked, and he has run away, and he is behind the desk. They have both taken cover. He has a phone out, and they are hunched below it.
I used awe before, right? So
No.
yeah, I said I did. I said I was going to go in and use awe, and I took the blood point off.
You said you were going to. The door's locked.
You
said you were going to blush and up, which you did.
And I said, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to argue it. But that was my intent, that as soon as I got in, I was going to use awe.
Right. You weren't in. As soon as you stepped in, you set off the metal detector.
All right. I mean, I figured I could do that while I was...
Everyone else of the players, do you think as if I played that incorrectly?
No, once you stepped in and the metal detector went off, I get the whole you intended to, but once the metal detector went off and it was different circumstances, it's you need to say what you're doing, you need to say what's your reaction there.
I just thought that I was, until I changed what I said I was changing, what I was doing, that it would go through. It doesn't matter. We can play it from here. So, okay, he got the blood point back. He'll ask, he will raise his eyebrows expectantly at the door.
You can go in and raise all you want. They are both behind, and they are not even remotely looking at you. They're crouched down. They're scarcely visible, sort of huddled back there. The alarm, by the way, you can hear it. It's echoing quite through the building. And out to the exterior, of the well-lit exterior.
All right, well, Byron will visibly shrug and cock an eyebrow at them for show, and then walk back out and say, yeah, we're not getting in through the front door.
Police are arriving, by the way.
Leave.
Can we get in the car, please?
Sirens are most certainly approaching.
I mean, I would already have been getting into the car.
Yeah, there's no car icon for me to put my icon on top of.
I know. Alright, you folks begin to proceed to try to get away from any police that may be coming after you. Okay! Rayan's driving, so this is going to be fun for her to attempt to elude the police. Now, let's see here. We'll perhaps have a race. First to 10 successes. That sounds good. Difficulty 6. Alright, Jermaine, go ahead and roll Dexterity plus Drive for me, Plox Kalol. As two police cruisers swing around the corner.
Alright, first I'm going to spend willpower for an automatic success, and then I'm going to roll drive. Does military reflexes apply here, by the way?
Sure. Also, yes, Larian, that's why I made the notes, so that the players could see them, such as the metal detector that Byron walked through.
3 successes.
Okay. Let me go ahead and handle the ghouls. Alright. Jermaine gets off to a pretty solid early start. It seems that you, both of your vehicles had a pretty solid early start as well. The police are just sort of swinging around. They weren't expecting folks in the cars already revving the go up. A bit sluggish behind, too. Jermaine, go ahead and make another one.
Actually, I just noticed that my willpower was wrong.
No, dear.
It's
Go
because I
ahead.
didn't incorporate into the token what I recovered last time from when the sheriff got sold.
Right.
There we go. Alright. Rolling again. Three successes.
3 more successes. Jermaine is most certainly pulling away from the police. Ghoul is having a harder time of it, but she's actually doing a pretty good job of keeping her own distance as well. Apparently, these police are not doing a good job. Go ahead and make another roll again for me, Jermaine.
One success.
Alright. The car that is pursuing Jermaine and Byron and Marcus catches up a bit. The car that was heading after, the cruiser that was heading after Joseph promptly slams itself into a mailbox, thus ending the pursuit for it.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-cha.
Beautiful, I didn't even have to do anything.
Go ahead and go again for me, Jermaine. 8,
2 more
9, 10.
successes.
Yo, you rolled a 6 there. 8, 9, 10.
Oh, yep.
You
there
got
we
all
go.
10. You outraced the police cruiser, and your 2 cars, darting through the streets or whatever, managed to lose sight of them. There doesn't seem to be any helicopters out, any more police cruisers coming in from the side. New York City's a busy place, and, you know...
And a guy trying to walk through a metal detector isn't that big of a deal. In the
Uh,
grand scheme of things.
I mean, there was a whole concept of holding out a gun and giving it to you right out there in the cobblestone path and everything, in
it
perfect
was
sight of
not.
the security guards.
No, it was not like out in the open. It's like I
That's
handed it
where
to him
you
with
walked up to Jermaine's token. I take that really seriously, where you guys are positioned. That's why I use the maps.
No, well, okay, I didn't say it, so whichever way you want to think of it. But my interpretation was that I would
Besides,
have my back
whenever
turned and hand it to him.
whenever you go, say, to a security guard after the metal detector goes, "Excuse me, before I put anything to tray, I'm going to go right outside and put this back in my car."
Right, that's why I thought I had awe, because that would make that go over a little better, because it makes people tend to agree. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, we'll just go with your interpretation. Maybe Byron was just boneheaded again.
Boneheaded Byron. Wah wah.
But no, it was never my intent to give the gun out in the open. It would be more of a get within 2 inches of him and take it out of my pocket and give it to him. So.
Anyway. Drive, man, drive.
The cars managed to escape into Manhattan.
So, back to Astoria.
Might as well.
Alright, I'm going to head on back, drop everyone off. Assuming everyone wants to be dropped off at this point.
What's the time?
1:09 a.m.
And sunrise is getting earlier and earlier as the days get further and further into February. So there's probably not so much we can do yet tonight unless we all decide to do something in Astoria. Does anyone have any ideas what we can do?
I'm probably going to go people hunting.
I guess Byron will go out and try to get a couple blood points from somebody.
I guess that looks like what's going to happen.
Okie dokie.
Joseph will call up one of his herd to feed.
Okie dokie. That can certainly be arranged.
So I believe that Jermaine is going people hunting. Byron and Marcus are going people hunting, but for a different reason. And Joseph is going to go crazy in his crazy room. Okay, good plan, good plan.
He might. That depends on what he ends up rolling for his willpower.
4.
I'm... Did...
Never mind. That doesn't work the way I thought it would.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was looking up the roll commands, but it doesn't display the way it doesn't display the numbers as I thought it would.
Looks like that's a success. Alright, your blood problems are taken care of as crazy voices go off in your head, as you assimilate people's memories into your brain. Not a big deal. Let's see. For you, Marcus, it's pretty much an automatic success. Byron, just go ahead and give me your fistful of dice. Yep, you look good to me.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Aaron, how do you want to go about this? How is Jermaine looking to try to go people hunting?
I think that the next person he's going to get is going to be some kind of college student or professor.
Alright.
So for now, he's just going to kind of hang out at and, more importantly, in the neighborhood around the NYU campus.
Okay.
For now, in the early morning, he's not expecting many people, but he's thinking he'll probably maybe find someone during the day. Without match around, this is going to be much slower going, and he's okay with that.
Let's see, I'm pretty sure that's located around, or exactly actually in, since it's in the village in Thomas Arturo's territory. Not that it's a problem for you, Ghoul.
Yeah, it's right by Little Italy and Greenwich Village.
That's what I thought. So he's just gonna just lurk there in his car and just watch coming and goings?
and sit around in like the public plazas and parks and stuff. It's a pretty open area. I mean, I'm sure that
Right.
people
So a
are familiar
rather
with the iconic
laid-back
arch.
approach to hunting, as it were.
Yeah, it's more lurking, I guess.
Alright, lurking, that seems feasible enough. How about go ahead and give me a... Jermaine has Streetwise, doesn't he?
Allow me to check. As a matter of fact, I do.
Go ahead and give me a Wits plus Streetwise at difficulty 6. Three successes. Alright. As it turns out, there is a, let's see, early Tuesday morning now. It's early February, so you know, all sorts of crazy things. There is a young woman who appears to be alone, sort of isolated. Not that she's exactly drunk, just that she is hurrying from place to place across a plaza as part of the NYU campus. Quite isolated, clearly uncomfortable. Her eyes are shifting around nervously, huddled up and bunched in her jacket and her scarf and her gloves and her sweatpants and everything. She appears to be in either her late teens or early 20s. Blonde, layered hair, brown eyes by the looks of things.
All right. I'll carefully look around. Try not to make it obvious that I'm doing that. To see if there's anyone around.
Give me a perception plus alertness at difficulty 6. Three successes. No, she does appear to be isolated.
And I'm parked pretty close by.
Yep.
Then, as quickly as I can, I'm going to move up behind her, try to tranquilize her.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity plus stealth at difficulty 6. This will be resisted.
Do military reflexes apply for this?
No, I don't think so, no. Four successes versus her... She doesn't notice you, and with your ghoulish powers combined with your potence, you can easily overpower her and surprise her and tranquilize her. She falls to the ground unconscious.
I'll bring her as quickly as possible to my car, stick her in the back seat, try and make it look more like I'm, helping out a drunk acquaintance than kidnapping someone.
Alright. That is done and done.
And then I'll drive off for Central Park and try to find a dark place to park with a dark way to the shed.
Well, that's not exactly the best thing, easiest thing to do in Manhattan, but you pretty much end up with the best possible location you could park at.
And then I'll help her on down to Sevalod.
Okay. Any sort of investigative affairs that you take with her before you take her into Central Park?
I'll check her for an ID and stuff like that.
She does. She has a student ID, and her name is Patty Kinsolving.
I'll make a point of remembering her name.
She is a NYU student who will not exactly be studying much of anything anymore.
Nope. Make a point of remembering her face.
Dimitri and the Zlacha end up taking it. As it turns out, your palm ends up being recognized in the scanner, and that incessantly long code that you punch in is accurate. Go ahead and give me a conscience roll at difficulty 8. Looks like Jermaine there manages to hold on to his humanity of 5. Somehow.
Somehow.
4 more.
At least I didn't have to hear this one's voice.
That you did not. And with that done, what will Jermaine be doing?
Going home and getting some sleep. Or trying to.
Alright. Or do the kindred wish to partake in any other activities during the course of this morning?
I actually want to make a call to Matchmaker.
That can certainly be done. The phone rings and it doesn't reach his voicemail. He says, "Hello,
Hello, Matchmaker.
who am I speaking with?"
Joseph.
Joseph. Who? I know many Josephs.
I seem to have misplaced Joseph's last name.
Chung?
Chung! That's what it was!
How can we remember your character's name but you don't?
He's a Malkavian. Give him a break.
Guys. What's my last name? Damn it, you guys didn't fall for it.
Sorry, what?
That's
You wanted
it.
me to tell you that your name is Paulson?
That's it. Joseph Chung.
Ah, I see. What can I do for you, Joseph Chung?
I need something to protect myself.
I have lots of things to protect yourself. I thought that AK would be doing a good job. What else do you need?
Oh, it's doing a good job. It's just, you know how it is. It's always need a little bit more protection. Do you happen to have any, plastic explosives?
Don't
For
tell
home
me.
defense.
Don't
home
tell me
defense,
you're
of course.
planning to bring down the entirety of Manhattan. I can hear it in your voice, Joseph Chung.
Oh, please. No, it's just for, home defense.
Home defense.
Yes, home defense.
Man. You cats. Yes, that could be possible to arrange. If you got the cash match, got what you need. Exactly. What sort of plastique are you looking for home defense?
Well, anything you could get, but, something that I'd be able to, leave around without people noticing.
I see. I suppose that can be arranged, yes. It will take me a few days.
Oh, yes, most certainly. Thank you, though.
Should I call you at this number when I got what you need?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I will keep it in mind. Is there anything else, Joseph Chung?
Other than to mention that I will need primers and blasting cats for that, the things to set it off.
But of course. Now I must ask you one more thing. Do you actually know what you're doing?
Very little. I'm hoping it works out for me anyways.
I see. Well, I will call you.
I loved that.
Very shortly thereafter, Jermaine gets a phone call from Matt.
Alright, he'll answer it.
Dude, your Malkavian cat is going to be putting up plastic explosives as home defense.
That's some crazy shit.
I just thought I wanted you to know that, Jermaine, because it didn't make any sense to me either. I asked him if he had any training. He said no, not really.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll see if he needs any help with that.
You might not want to go to the church anymore.
Oh, by the way, that trank worked perfect.
Of course it did, Jermaine. You got the cash, I got what you need.
You so did.
Alright, just want to let you know that fucking Malkavia is goddamn crazy.
I appreciate it.
Click.
Alright, what time of the morning is it?
2-ish. 2:23,
Okay.
we'll say.
Yeah, he's gonna drive his ass over to church.
Okay. Jermaine goes to visit Joseph at church. And arrives, I imagine.
Alright.
I'd imagine
He'll,
Joseph would be sitting downstairs somewhere.
He'll head on in the front doors, and if Joseph isn't, a parent, he'll ask one of Joseph's helpers where he can go find him.
Jermaine can certainly be directed to Joseph.
Alright, like downstairs in the basement.
He'll probably come up to meet you.
Fair enough.
Did you need something?
Yeah, Match gave me a little heads up that you might need help setting up plastic explosives. I'm only saying this out loud like that if the church is otherwise empty. BT dubs.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've got some explosives training. I can help you with that.
Oh, that would actually be great. See, I have, with all the people we've been meeting, I have had an idea. One of my greatest skills is I can walk straight up to someone's face and walk away without them ever knowing. Combine that with plastic explosives, and I
So
can
you
get
want
rid
me
of...
to help you? You want me to help show you how to set up a detonator?
Yeah.
I can handle this. You got it.
Yeah, it's essentially I can walk straight up to someone's face, drop a thing, and walk away, and what's someone going to do about that? I mean, besides be blown to smithereens.
Have you considered getting a grenade instead?
Yeah, but see, the problem with a grenade is then I have to throw it in the right spot, it'll land somewhere, someone can dive out if I don't time the timing right.
You can still just place it at their feet. Pin pulled. It's a lot simpler, trust me, than setting up a detonator.
Yeah, but then with the pin pulled, I'm standing right over it, and it goes off, and that...
No, it takes a few seconds to go off. You can get away pretty quick.
Yeah, but then I had to run, and then I get seen. That's... I mean, wrap a thing of C4 and nails, and you've got a grenade plus.
Gotcha. Yeah, alright, I can help you set that up, just... You were gonna blow your hands off otherwise.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't, I was planning on getting some help from someone. I knew Marcus had things. I'd ask him. I don't even know where you got yours. Worked with demolitions or what?
I fought in 2 wars.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you can help me get that set up, next time we walk face to face with someone who needs to be blown up, I might actually be helpful for once.
Alright then. Just, don't go experimenting on your own.
Oh, I wasn't planning on it.
Alright, fair enough. Catch you later then.
Did you actually take Miss Patty to the evil man?
Sure
Yeah.
did.
Grimith said that I dropped him off with the Slasha and
Yeah,
Dimitri.
Dimitri and Pavel. Did you want to go collect more bodies? I suppose I should ask, go ahead right now. Did you four want to continue the session? Did you four want to stop? If you want to stop, how long do you want to go before the next session? You want to go 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days? How many days?
It seems like a pretty stopping point now. That's just my opinion. But I have no idea how much more I would want to continue. Like, I mean, how long of a time skip? What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, we only have about an hour left, give or take, because Grimith needs to get off by 9, isn't that right?
They actually, sort of canceled on me.
The bastards.
JG and Bobo, we will be the deaths of thee if we ever could figure out where you live. And we're not gonna
You
try.
go cut them.
It's okay. It's okay. No resentment, no regret. It's not like they'll watch this. Actually, yeah, they won't watch this anyway. they would expect me to be rude anyway, so it wouldn't work.
Okay, so they're not gonna watch, so we can be as mean as possible with them. Good.
Yeah. All right, but regardless, yeah, I'm perfectly capable of sitting here as however long that you guys want to keep going. So feel free to discuss and mull over and think about and actually do whatever it is you want to do, and I'll try to respond accordingly. Before we get started, though, I want to talk about this. I thought I interpreted everything with what Byron's actions were doing all right. It's possible that I might have skipped over the bit in my head, which is why I turned the question to the other players, and it got Joseph there as sort of a confirmation. But I never heard what Aaron or Jordan thought of it. I heard what Sean did. But yeah, do you two think that I went that went over my head, or did you think that I played that all right?
I more just feel like the police response was a bit too quick.
Yeah, it was. With the thing with the gun was, I think, a bit much, because I think it would be implied that he did, and they immediately.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course they wouldn't have seen the gun. No, that was me being spiteful.
Aside from that, no, I think it worked out okay. Police cruisers
could most certainly have been nearby to respond to the situation, and I think I'm pretty sure if I were a security guard in the situation and I got the whole response of, let me just go outside and it doesn't matter what it is the person is holding when the person walks away from the metal detector that's going off, I don't know. I really think that's suspicious to me, where if I were a rent-a-cop, I'd call for help.
I mean, there's also you only awed. Even if the whole awe thing worked, there was still the other guy, and I think he was nearby enough to hear what you were saying.
Yeah, well, if he was near enough to hear what I was saying, he would have been affected by awe, I think. But it really doesn't matter because, I mean, as long as I didn't see the gun, then Yeah, even if Byron...
Yeah,
was
they
on
definitely didn't see the
camera.
gun. No, they didn't see the gun. I just, I'd pop that out there to just be a little bit, spiteful about it. If anything, I'm confused. I was confused more than anything else. That's what everything came from. My confusion.
Yeah, that with Brenda cops, it's observe and report. It's the reaction was very much over the top. It's with that it normally be just step back, make a call to the thing, and maybe one officer would roll out. If even that, if they wouldn't.
But
even
then
put
again,
off
you
the next
guys
day.
do suspect that this is apparently the hold of some sort of Zamitzi warlord here, what have you.
That's pretty much how I justified it in my head.
Yeah,
Let me
so
see.
over reactions may make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
They might have the
my only
cops in their
point is that...
pockets every bit the same way that we do in Astoria.
Yeah, I was just going to say Byron does not look overly threatening either, so that's why I was like, man, do you think I'm going to come here and shoot up the place? But maybe I should have gone. I'm curious. You don't have to answer, Grimith, but I'm curious. My other option was to just take the gun out, put it in the thing, and say, yeah, I've needed personal protection. Forgot I had it. And just
You
be
certainly
honest
could have
about it.
done that. It wouldn't have got a curious look. I just, I thought the primary interesting thing was, yeah, I'll go be right back. And it's just like, they're left staring at you as you walk away like, what? That's what I thought was so interesting.
I thought the best
Yeah.
way to handle that probably would have been to dominate it away. I can't imagine anything else going
The
well.
presence would have been able to work on multiple people. To dominate, he can only target that individually. So the second Rent-A-Cop would have just been standing there in horror. You're like, what the hell is he talking about? Unless they actually know about vampiric powers.
At which point it could
Clearly,
even
he
go
did-
worse.
Clearly, he just didn't want them to see his big metal vibrator.
Right. In my head, I actually was thinking there are cameras here. So let's just say it does get shown, because I'm learning from David Green's experience that
Yeah.
if that shows up, I would rather not have Byron be taking a gun out of his pocket. And so the lesser of two evils between looking guilty and being guilty is looking guilty. Because that gun's not registered to him, as I mentioned last session.
But yeah, that's all behind us right now. So
I think the first thing that threw me off was whenever you walked through the metal detector of all the metal shit. I mean, I didn't expressly set it because I had all of the labels there that everyone could read. That's what
I didn't even know it was there. I thought it was hidden in the doorway. Had you mentioned it, I would have remembered the gun. It was just, oops.
I think that was the first thing that confused me, which might have ended up stirring the whole train of confusion, because I suppose then I forgot about the all thing, and you're like, let me go put the gun away.
It was just a fustercluck. It's, we'll just assume that Byron forgot about it because he's Byron being Byron, and he walked through the metal detector, and then, just shit went sideways.
Oh, Byron.
Oh, Byron. There we go. Now that we got that resolved, it probably did end up slipping my head. I can't remember anymore, and I presume I will continue to redact history and eventually blame it all on you, Krypsyn.
Blame it all
It's
on
fair.
him.
Happens to me
No.
all the time in real life, so I'm used
No,
to
that was a pretty confusing moment, which is why I ended up asking for other players' opinions there right away, because mainly that was the thing that I got from that. I was confused.
Yeah, and I should have asked for a roll on the awe if I thought it was up, and I didn't, so,
I would say, yeah, if you were going to do all, then that would have been the rolling there to see how many people you affected.
Exactly. Mistakes were made, as you're wont to say.
No mistakes. It was all intentional.
the
And the
Rent-A-Cops.
redaction begins.
Also, I love how Black Pearl Gamer, I checked the chat, is like starting the campaign of how I'm such an asshole. Like, apparently I always hold people to the position where they can't redact anything.
I choose not to redact things most of the time.
But I've definitely
That's
let
true.
Aaron rewind before, like situations last session, just like, no, actually that was a lie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he has.
Hey, wait, now that we got that clear, just get back to the whole situation of what do you guys want to do? Do you want to continue this session? I assume that your four characters will want to convene and talk about what your next plans are as you all are working together in a coterie. You have David's going to be waking up in about another week, give or take a few days, and he's staked. You have Jermaine's contract coming up like week after that, like around the 22nd, 23rd, somewhere around one of those days.
Yeah, it was just a few days after David got put into torpor.
Yeah, considering it's what actually the reason we went and did that.
But if David's going to be staked, then that's not going to be an interest of an issue, because he's going to be staked, he's going to basically starve himself, and he's going to be driven back into torpor. So if you actually wanted any help from the Nosferatu, you aren't going to be fucking getting it.
It's true.
I think in this situation we actually need David more than anything else.
Well, I mean, the situation has certainly changed since last week.
I
Very
think,
much so.
But literally no one other than Joseph knows that he's staked.
I mean, if we become like this, I think the big time difference that needs to happen is that there needs to be a skip to either with the night of when David wakes up, or something has to happen before that. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, certainly within 3 days, Joseph will be called about plastic explosives, but I don't think that's anything like, all right, the session begins. Joseph gets plastic explosives in exchange for money. He spends the rest of his days building crosses made out of putty or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think in the intervening time, I think everyone is probably going to be spending time trying to get in better with the certain people in the city, just so when we say we need to talk to someone, we don't have go scrambling around figuring out how the hell are we going to get in contact with them.
I mean, I mean, Sean, you could always solve this whole problem about Aaron having two characters by eating one of them.
That totally would go badly for you either. Trust me.
Well, I did it expecting the sheriff to be gone, and now the sheriff's not gone, so...
Well, no, that's not what he's talking about at all. It's basically you're a sanguinary animist. The book even says, like, a sanguinary animist committing diablerie is not recommended.
Yeah, that'll end very, very badly.
Considering how your nature too, what I ended up ruling for that is going to be pretty stiff, combined with your sanguinary animism. If you did it, you would of course automatically succeed. You would lose a point of humanity as well as a point of conscience straight off the bat. You'd have to roll for 2 other points of humanity. You would gain 2 generations, so you'd be put at 11th generation. You would gain David's derangement, as well as a significant portion of his personality as you consume the soul of another vampire, which would be have sort of all sorts of interesting effects. And of course, you might have those black veins marked part of the diablerie, and even if those did vanish, you would pretty much fear the Tremere for the rest of your own life.
Yeah, that was really a thing that I was thinking, and everything's going to go to war very soon, but now that the sheriff's back, things seem a little bit more stable.
Things still might go to war.
But it might be more organized war.
Instead of an all-out brawl, we're going to have a war with sides. Sides are good.
So are you going to leave him staked then?
No, he'll probably unstake.
Probably.
Probably.
David's going to wake up and why there are 2 holes in his chest.
No, he won't.
Okay.
Considering how much he got fucked up.
David's actually going to wake up really grateful he didn't end up accidentally killing someone.
Well, I did sort of tear out your throat.
And then he's gonna be really angry if he ever hears the story about what the coterie did while he was asleep.
Oh, yes.
Which is why we need him here to put us back on the right track.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Jermaine has been a horrible influence on us. That's our excuse.
This is the
He kind
situation
of
you end
has.
up with, basically. You folks have the power to basically determine whether Aaron goes back to playing the Nosferatu, or whether Aaron sticks with playing the Ghoul.
Yeah, my meta reasons are twofold. First, I think Jermaine would be an awesome NPC down the road if he has given up. Just show back up, say, "Hey guys, I'm 7th gen now, lols."
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, and also I really like David Green. I really like his character, and I don't think Aaron got a chance to develop it enough. If you don't mind me saying.
Oh no, I like both of these characters. I think that they're both fantastic.
It's also there's also the meta knowledge of we need someone who can do investigation and stealth type things with a
That
better
could
than
be any of you. You do get experience points, but you're like, I gotta go save it for my discipline powers.
Hey, I need his willpower.
That's right. Yes, you did start with 3 willpower.
I legitimately needed that not to actually have not that second session again where, oh, I'm locked in a room.
Good thing you don't have the. Good thing you have those 4 dots of obfuscate, right, bro?
Man, I did put 3 points in alertness with Byron, so that's
But yes,
something.
superpowers are really tempting. They just are.
Yeah, and fortitude for Byron just makes so much sense right now.
Of course.
Sean, were you ever going to talk to me about learning aspects?
He
Actually,
couldn't this past week on account of someone getting crunk.
I was getting my drunken revelry on, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that got off-put in favor of demontation.
Oh my.
Well, I hope you find someone who can teach you that because I got what you need right here.
Already did.
Well, all right then.
So have we decided one way or another, are we going to unstake... Oh, well, has Joseph decided one way or another, is he going to unstake David?
Yeah, Joseph will untake David. He's the best influence at the moment.
Let's see, today is the 9th, which is rolled into the 10th. Add a week to that, he fell in torpor around the 15th. Yeah, sure. David will arise from his slumber, heavily wounded, and with like 2 or 3 blood points within a week.
3.
3.
So I think the next session will be the night David wakes up and...
Right, but none of your characters know when he's going to be awakening, so it's not like you can plan around that accordingly. Like,
Correct.
you don't know what his humanity score is. You don't know this whole concept of looking in the book on such and such page and waiting for a month.
True, but...
Except certain Malkavians, and they usually aren't in a condition to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph does know there's a storyteller out there, so, I mean,
He drew his church.
That is, by the way, a derangement I want to play on a Malkavian sometime. Meta-knowledge. Or fourth wall awareness.
Don't you see? Now it will be bombed!
No, exactly.
No, see, that's actually a discipline that comes with a derangement.
Fourth wall awareness.
So I think the plan is we're going to have a time skip until David wakes up, whenever that is. But we're not planning, to have anything going on that night.
Actually, depending on how soon it is for David waking up, Jermaine might have finished collecting his people before that happens.
That is true, and he will receive his next task from Sevalod.
So, there's that to consider because...
Which I will actually give to you over IM right now.
Cool, because I am planning, as Jermaine, to, pretty actively pursue that. For obvious reasons.
What is it, girl? Is Timmy trapped down a well again?
Oh no, that's a manly-ass male dog with no balls.
What is it, boy? Is Timmy trapped down a well again?
Nope, there's people walking on his sidewalk.
Fuck
You
it!
don't even know.
Fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it!
Oh, by the way, while you're doing that, just noting Byron would have gotten his gun back from Jermaine, unless Jermaine said, no, can't have anymore.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable.
And he'll collect the body armor and the SMG from the office before he heads home. So he's got that back at his apartment.
Good.
So are we going to need to have a session before David wakes up to deal with this new task, or?
Well, we might. Let's see what new task is before me.
Well, it's not exactly something the rest of the coterie would be dealing with. Jermaine has proven this is pretty much his own shtick.
It's true. But it might be something I try to manipulate the party into dealing with.
Right, but that's why this is being shared over IM, so that they don't know.
Exactly.
Go read it, and then you can figure it out.
No, he's still sending it.
Yeah, anyways, I also just, FYI, jotted down in my character sheet that my phone is always muted. It's always sound off. You'll always get a answering machine from it.
You see, that's stuff like I don't make you guys constantly clarify that you are putting your phones on vibrate or mute because I just figure that's useless bookkeeping on my part. I certainly could. Byron has 1 dot of intelligence. I'll be like, Byron.
Well, Byron's phone is usually on Macarena, just so you know.
Macarena. What?
I just figured it would be very bad form for the guy with obfuscate to forget to mute his phone.
Aaron just got information get. So I suppose, anyone in chat, would it be okay, Black Pearl Gamer asked, Grimith, would it be possible for Jermaine to get embraced as I stated? Why didn't Jermaine get managed to exsanguinate him to do that in the first place? Well, Jermaine might have done that, but he was looking for a powerful vampire. And so, clearly he's going after someone who has a, very low generation, close to Cain. And most vampires simply aren't close to Cain, particularly in the New World, particularly in New York City, where lots of neonates have moved to, and there's lots of weak blood. Consequently, Jermaine was just holding out because it's a step you can only take once. You can only have one sire. Very few people can actually manage to angle themselves to get a powerful sire, but Jermaine put himself into a position where he could do that.
Actually, he's asking, what if Match drained him dry and then used the file of the Sinisi's blood to bring him back?
Oh, I see now. Well, Jermaine wouldn't know.
If that's possible, which I don't know in or out of character, he still wouldn't try it for fear of making an enemy of a 6th generation vampire.
Not only that, if he's actually wrong, Jermaine's dead.
Exactly. Which is the opposite of what he wants to happen.
I mean, and there's also the fact of Match might decide, you know what, I'm just going to feed this guy some of my blood.
And there's the fact that I definitely already have Sevalod in my head. So, pissing him off might be a bad idea.
I mean, he's given you every freedom to do as you ask. It's not like he's imposed a blood bond on you. Could have been like, chug, chug, chug the flask.
So, yeah, basically there's just too much unknown there, and it's too much of a risk. But I definitely considered it. Not gonna lie.
But man, Jermaine's got to be. It's kind of interesting to me how you're dealing with it. I mean, I like it that you said at the very beginning that he was looking for like 10th generation or better, right? And now he's got the 6th generation Tzimisce of all things offering him this. He's got to be of split minds. Let me put it that way on the whole thing.
Now Jermaine
Yes.
goes to find Lombok Ruthed, and there you go, 4th gen, fantastic.
Yes,
You know what,
he's
screw it.
pretty divided about all of it.
Screw it. The way it's going, we're going to hit something antediluvian soon enough. Just hold out for a little bit.
Yes. Even though the official stance of the Camarilla is that the antediluvians don't exist.
Yeah, that's the major sticking point with Byron. That I mean, his sire was very much not Sabbat-like, but I mean, she was afraid of the antediluvians. So she definitely thought they existed.
So there you go. Aaron, at the very least, understands what the second task is. How much Jermaine chooses to tell the other player characters is up to him.
Nothing yet. He's not sure if he wants to ask for their help on this.
Well, then it seems like the next session will be whenever David wakes up. At least I think that's what it should be.
Could be. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to ask for your guys' help, because it would definitely help a lot, but I don't know if you guys want to be involved in this.
It's really all up to you. I mean, it all depends. The next session all depends on what Jermaine does.
Sure does.
I'm going to tell you right now, Marcus is probably going to say no, fuck off.
Yeah, Joseph's probably going to be very similar in that regard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but if it's from the Tzimisce, Byron, 90% is probably gonna not want to have anything to do with it. I mean, if it's not like evil, if he just like wants us to go to the library and read books, sure, Byron's in, but.
I love that image.
Yes, that is what the Tzimisce wants you to do. He wants you to support your local library.
You will find the last surviving mystical copy of the entire Library of Alexandria, and you will read its entire contents, and report back to me. There will be a quiz.
It would be hard for Byron. I mean, he hasn't studied in his life, but he might do that. But yeah, point is, I doubt this task is anything like that. So.
He wants Jermaine to return a library book. It's only a couple of centuries overdue. Fogalar, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, asked whether someone else could end up playing as David. I think everything runs well when the party consists of 4 player characters, particularly in Vampire the Masquerade, whenever things can get pretty individually character intensive. Not that a 5-player party is inherently bad in some rule sets, but I think so much attention gets drawn to each individual character because Vampire is inherently a selfish game with selfish creatures that our sessions might end up going even longer. What do you 4 players think?
I
Um,
have played in games that have had 5 people or more, and sometimes they've been good, sometimes they've been really, really bad. To me, the optimal number for of players in a game is 4. Although depending on the rule system, like you said, you can make exceptions.
For me, it's definitely the 3 to 5 range.
Yeah, I will. From another side, but I will say that from my point of view, I have never been left sitting antsy or bored or anything while other people were going through their characters. So 4 is fine. 5 might not be horrible, but I don't know. I mean, if it ain't broke, you know.
Yeah, it's very much reiterating what everyone else said. It's especially with VTM though. It's very difficult to fit more people in. It's very easy to have that devolve everything. But
I don't like
5,
to Oh, sorry.
But 5 is just one more, so it's not a major jump.
I have a problem with leaving people at the sidelines, which is why Chapter 2 will always be an unfortunate memory of this entire story.
It's his fault. He took sanguinary animism.
It's your fault you continued the rest of the day and left him behind.
Yeah, it was a tough call there between role-playing it and just knowing meta-knowledge that we shouldn't leave him behind. And
Right,
I don't think anyone thought it was going to take the whole session or most of it that night.
Yeah, it's always tough choosing between in-character and meta reasons.
Yeah. The most important thing overall is that everyone has fun, so it is alright to break the whole IC, OOC boundaries in the name of fun. But I like to try to keep players in their characters, if only so that I think it's more interesting whenever you're forced to think from the perspective of yourself as a Toreador or a Ventrue or a Malkavian or a former Tzimisce Ghoul, instead of Krypsyn or Aaron or Jordan or Jean.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of struggling with in-character versus out-of-character right now.
I figured you would be. That second task, I devised that I had all the text prepared for a situation where you might collect all those people. The only change it ended up being that the punishment of everyone getting pushed out was just pushed up a bit, because that was going to be a part of the second task too. A warning that only you are the welcome guest.
Fuck! Because...
And you definitely know you could get one of them too.
I could get all of them.
Yeah, you could get all of them as well. One of them though especially.
Why do I feel like Grimith is talking about us?
No, I wouldn't have put Jermaine strictly against the player characters like that. That would have created a situation where the character, rather than being allowed to flourish as a non-player character, would have been forced to suicide.
Okay. But when he talks about I could get all of them, it suddenly means there's a group of them.
He's obviously referring to Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all, right?
The thing is, the easiest way to solve this task fucks over the party. Which Jermaine would do in character, but I don't want to do.
Well, you don't have to decide right this second. I mean, we have a week till, unless you wanted to go on with the session right now, which I don't think we're going to do. You have a week to decide.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just still...
I'm not sure if this is something that Aaron could ever be comfortable deciding.
It's really not, because it would really fuck over the entire coterie.
Well, you see, you're the one who loves all of the interesting decisions.
I know, but this is why I prefer when it happens to me. Fuck.
Well, congratulations.
Now you get to decide the fate of the entire party.
Yeah, my 2 cents is do what's in character and screw over the party, because I think that's what everybody wants to see.
My 2 cents is the moment that all 4 of the original player characters go down, this whole VTM thing is over.
Fuck.
With basically a final session to tell you all what happens in the aftermath of the coterie's final deaths.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't decide yet.
As long as Evelyn takes over the business and becomes a super rich business mogul, I'm okay with it.
But everything was chosen perfectly, as designed by Sevalod's interest there, Aaron. It just so happens it was a coincidence, really.
Right, no, it's totally not to teach Jermaine a lesson either.
Well, no, that actually wasn't originally what I had devised it for, but certainly Jermaine is more than willing to interpret that whichever way he wishes. He could... I mean, there are plenty of others.
Yeah, that's true. God damn it.
And there's the substitution rule that he provided.
That there is.
When did Sevalod start doing math about things?
There definitely is a theoretical end griff, as the chat has already described. The whole Vampire the Masquerade thing, the primary interest behind that for some people, and the reason why some people come back to it, and the reason why I was interested in it instead of Requiem, was due to the whole meta plot. I understand that people who followed Vampire for a very long time got sick of the meta plot. It was kind of boring or just tiresome. The whole, Gehenna's coming, the end of times, the antediluvians are gonna eat our brains, Cain will come and judge us, and God will finally determine what happens, and blah, blah, blah. I'm fucking done. But it interested me. So here we are. But, of course, the players are free to incorporate as much or as little of anything as they so wish, because the most important part of the rule set is to have fun. Some or everything, some or all of what I've read could be incorporated, but rest assured, Sevalod Cerveni is in no book. And if he is, then... well, that was interesting. I have taken the setting and made it my own, and given the players the tools, and sometimes we get confused on how the hammer works or where the hole's gonna be dug, but overall, I think
At least everyone remembers to throw rock.
That's right. Gotta get the rocks out of the sandbox. In that case, what did the 4 of you think of this session? I heard a collective, like a pin drop there, whenever the Elysium Security Force mentioned the Sheriff.
Yeah, I damn near shat myself.
Yeah, I think this is the only session I've actually shouted out loud, and it happened twice.
What did you shout?
Once was what the fuck, and the other was, I forget what the other one.
It was about Marcus.
Oh yeah, it was something Marcus did.
There's always something I do that makes somebody shout, baby.
Yeah, you opened your mouth.
So?
Well, there was the situation where he spotted Archbishop Polonia. How about that, Jordan?
Yeah, I actually actually started shivering in fear a bit, actually in real life about it. Because I was like, I had this, like, I've been making, like, Archbishop Polonia, this guy's a badass, and how would Marcus feel about it? Probably shit himself. Oh god.
Really, since when he was standing out there in the open, alone, with no support from his coterie, right there above the dim light and the glowing red eyes of Polonia just turned the swivel and focus on him.
Yep. And he's just like, fuck it, not gonna say anything, run.
Marcus, will you run? Polonia, Polonia! Oh, what the fuck? Shit.
Oh yeah, that was the Harris Devio brought the other time. I actually shouted out loud, which was when Marcus said, "Not that I'm aware of."
That was me basically being an idiot.
Oh, yes, yes, that was a good moment. That was a good moment. It's fine,
Yeah, and
though.
on that note, I was trying so hard not to stick my foot in my mouth at Byron again, and then I walked through that stupid metal detector.
It's fine.
Maybe you should have stuck your foot in your mouth. At least we wouldn't have walked through a metal detector with a gun.
No long-term consequences will come from it. I'm gonna go since how awkward that situation was. It'll be fine. Perhaps they were doing camera maintenance at the time or something.
We will never speak of the metal detectors again. Yeah, I enjoyed this session a little bit. Although it seems like we didn't get a lot done.
I don't know, you guys actually went through multiple days of stuff.
True.
Byron got Valentine's number. I think Joseph
Yep.
saw him get it, so he'd probably know about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got to meet, a few articles of Kindred Society there. There was a big social event at Elysium. Sheriff's back after he was gone with a capital G. Theo Bell was around there for a little bit. You saw Archbishop Polonia. Apparently some Gangrel were involved in their decimation. The Sabbat.
I do have one regret. That is not hitting on Jezebel when the chat said I should have.
No, alas. I also liked what Byron said, like he was going to say to Jezebel, she had already disappeared. Like, oh god. Why does he want to die?
That's probably a lucky stroke. He was going to try to just be nice, but yeah.
I mean, you're technically on Elysium, so she's not going to violate that, but you got to leave sometime. Oh, man.
I still can't decide.
Dude, there are so many fishies out in the sea. It doesn't have to be them.
Yeah, but these ones are right in my swimming pool.
Well, he can at least do like one of the objectives without completely murdering the coterie. You should feel comfortable with that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I figured if there's anyone who's capable of making that decision, it'd be you.
Because there's also the rogue nature.
There is that. It's just, what do you as the player end up feeling comfortable doing?
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
Which character do you want to play in the future, Aaron?
Well, on one hand, there won't be a future. On the other hand, there will be one.
This is certainly something I've enjoyed. As Aaron said, I've done the coterie has been on the razor's edge the entire time. I didn't know how well I'd be able to handle the setting. That's why I warned you all, like, this thing might flop by, like, chapter 2. I don't know.
We're only
Yeah,
mid
no, this
chapter
has actually
9.
been really, really fun.
Yes. Probably one of the best games of World of Darkness I've ever played in, actually.
Really?
Well, in my history of World of Darkness, one was only only 3 or 4 sessions long, and it was mostly like a mini session for like background for another game that I didn't take part in, which I was a little bit pissed off about. Another one was one of the player characters basically was apparently missing obvious cues from the storyteller the entire time, and basically made the game very, very difficult for me and Aaron, because he was in that game.
He chose for in-character reasons to ignore hints, which caused the plot to be unable to progress. It was frustrating, but I understood it at least.
Yeah, it was just very frustrating. This thing has been not frustrating. It has been very fun, which is something I...
So much of the credit goes to the 4 of you. You 4 have all been accepting and pliable, and you all 4 have gelled together exceptionally well these past, not just the 9 chapters we've been doing this, but in the all the sorts of the information gathering and distribution as well. I certainly didn't think when I pulled 4 volunteers from my YouTube audience that I would get, I've said it in like the description of every single part of the audio podcast I upload. It wows me.
I'm getting you out there.
Yeah, so did I.
That's because I was actually saying something nice about the 4 of you, and apparently my headset couldn't handle that.
Your head was trying to correct for what you're normally talking about.
Yes. I was like, you guys are great, and the head's like, no.
We heard enough to get the gist of it before it started cutting out, I think.
Right.
And
that's actually a great effect, the fact that started cutting out. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice effect.
Oh, yes. No, I'm quite pleased. Certainly you all have restored my faith in humanity as well as the integrity of the internet.
I mean, if I betray the coterie, I'd be pretty sure that at least one original member would survive.
And let me guess who this original member was. David Green?
Funny thing. No.
Can I ask whom then?
Do you not? Don't you fucking do that! Don't do that!
What did you think I was gonna do?
It's just the whole concept of that being like the beacon for everyone to draw themselves. You can't do that. You can't roll up a new character and have that be a Tremere and be like, "Welp, I'm gonna go follow this Kaldar." Oh, everyone else will understand next session. The problem is that, because of this situation, it's a pretty big deal. We need to know, what day the session ends up starting, because things happen in the city. Events transpire, and while shit's not happening and panicky as much as the sheriff's being gone, now that the sheriff's back, things might also change a bit more. He is certainly very determined to rid the concrete jungle of Sabat, whatever that means.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. This is either going to happen, this potential betrayal is either going to happen in the next 1 or 2 nights, or not at all.
Right. Well, what I was going to say is, well, I mean, if there's some event that the coterie would have heard about coming up before David awakes, like a big battle being planned or something like that, obviously the coterie might want to take part or at least, watch from the sidelines. I don't know.
That won't be happening. No major events. There's just a return to normalcy as Qadir spends his time around Elysium and events get approved or denied. It's simply the power of the Keep at Elysium. And while it's not normally the sheriff's role to also be the keeper of the Elysium, he has the power to say, like, no, you're not going to be holding this event here. Yeah, sure, that event can be held there. And keep in mind that he is definitely, most certainly, one of the candidates for princedom. Whatever that means.
I'm going to say it here. I said it in the chat, but yeah, this feels totally like Manchurian Candidate to me.
So here's the part where I pitch out the slow ball. You guys sure you want Qadir al-Asmai to be the next Prince of New York City?